It's getting tiring talking about these things, to be frank. Like, it's the entire organization of the league is, for example, away from this instruction, man, why wasn't the Heart of Oak game on TV? It was supposed to be shown on TV. Then there's a last minute decision that this game is not, like, the thing went away for 5-6 weeks. It went away for 5-6 weeks. A lot of statements here and there, and we are back. And the first week, somebody is allowing their fans to dance around the bus. Second week, a game is supposed to be on TV. That's like, the league is very...
So
No, but seriously, in any proper organized league or any country, no one team can dissolve itself because the country straight away is going to look at the number of bodies that are going to go unemployed.
Yeah.
Right? So if the owners can't manage the club in any proper functioning society, the state would find a mechanism to absorb it. Club would go into administration. It becomes a state-owned club where they look for different owners. But for the time being, the state will run. Classic example. When the assets of Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich was freezed, it went into a period where the state had to take control of things. So they had to cap a lot of things. They couldn't spend over a certain level. At the time, they were waiting for somebody to buy the club, but it was away from the Russian owner of Abramovich. It's unheard of that a football club, can just decide for every reason, because you're going to lose the social impact of that, the economic impact of that. Livelihoods are going to be harder. Psychological impact of that. And this is why I always say that I have stopped blaming the GFA because they've shown that they can't do it. They are incapable. They don't need to do more to prove that to us. We need a strong government that sees sports as serious business, because now you're going to render minimum 27 or 31 footballers jobless. Some of them are never going to get any club to play again. Some of them's careers are not going to progress.
Coaches,
backroom staff, groundsmen, drivers, you're going to render them unemployed because one man has made a decision not to run his club again. That shouldn't happen in any properly run society.
And it raises even more questions about our ownership structure.
Yeah.
And what kind of vetting we take ownership of or suspected owners through. So that you know that an individual cannot just veto a decision of this nature.
Yeah,
because, I mean, what kind of system do we have in place in vetting the owners of potential football clubs? So if somebody comes and says, I want to buy a football club, what kind of assurances and guarantees do we even get from those people, from these people? So let's say that, for example, if one of the things that we're required of owners to do is to be able to put down at least 3 years' worth of financing of the club as guarantee somewhere before they can be allowed to acquire the club. In a situation like this, they could look at those finances and they could look to those checks or whatever it is, those guarantees, and keep the club going until a new owner is found, like Sitso said. But you can't just get because we're so desperate. Anybody comes and says, I'm buying a football club. No one cares where the finance is, even sponsorship. Because we were in this country when Xylophone Cash signed a sponsorship deal for the Ghana Premier League. And exactly 4 weeks later, the owner of that particular enterprise was arrested and now he was being prosecuted for fraud. We don't do any investigations whatsoever. We don't do due diligence whatsoever in ownership, in sponsorship, and all of these things need to be done. And Sitso is right when he says that these things are not just the job of the Ghana Football Association. The government needs to have its own structures in place. Look, we have structures in place in how state-owned enterprises should be acquired by individuals.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard that a later suspected or a later convicted fraudster has ever acquired a state-owned enterprise? You cannot do it because of the structures and the things that are involved. And yet, in the Ghana Premier League, these are the stories every single day. Where's the regulation?
And this is not the first club. We saw Olympics 2 years ago. Also, no Olympics,
So,
Liberty, only a few years ago, say they don't want to be part of Ghana football. They folded up. We've not heard too much about their players who were there. We've seen Wafa, as you said, also folded. It's you can't run sports, especially football, like that. There has to be strong policies that guide said deter those who can't cope with it from running it. And even if you want to step out of it, there should be a way you hand over, the club stays, but you exit the club, whether you are selling it or whatever. Something has to happen to keep people in job.
Because, look, remember the Elmina Shots incident?
Yes.
In Parkwest Doom's interview, he said that he might decide to not
play again.
You can't just... Can Abramovich ever go and sit on radio and say, I don't like the way the league is going, so I'm taking my money away?
You can't do that. You can't do that.
Because the structure will even allow you to do that.
And you see, it puts the whole integrity of the league in jeopardy, because now, Instructman's games are going to be forfeited. People are going to get class 3 goals. How do you even work around it, right?
Teams have already faced them.
Yes.
Some have won, some have lost.
And then some are now going to get 3 points. It puts the whole integrity of the league in jeopardy. And I feel for the FA in this regard, like I said, they don't have the capacity to fix this. This needs a stronger policy, a powerful hand, in this case, government, to overlook this. And unfortunately, we've let ourselves down. It's like sports in this country is in a jungle where anybody can just pick anything and do anything with it. It's just disappointing.